don't be afraid. But best way is staying home and not to get this, because it's not easy. It is not easy. When you get through it, I went through this, this like as if I don't even remember. I felt like I went into a tornado and I just came out of it, safe and not injured. But I did go through it was hard, and it's gonna be hard. So best way is not to get the virus, stay home, and make sure you stay healthy, mentally healthy.
Hi everyone, welcome to our podcast At the End of the Day. This is Anuz Thapa.
And this is me, Dipika Shrestha. With us today is our guest, Nima Sherpa. Nima is based in New York City. Recently, Nima's family was tested positive with COVID-19 coronavirus. The good news is her family is recovering very well. So today in our podcast, we have Nima herself to walk us through her experience and through her family's experience of their fight against coronavirus.
Nima, so good to see you. How are you feeling right now?
I'm feeling great. My husband, he's doing great. He's energetic. He's cooking, cleaning, taking care of me now. And the kids, of course, back to their normal routine. They're, one is playing with his gadgets, and then the other one is with the computer.
Yeah. And Nima, why don't you tell us a little more about yourself?
My name is Nima Sherpa, and I've been here in this country since 1998. I came here as an international student and became a nurse. That's what I always wanted to be, but I didn't know that I can be a nurse here. But United States of America, if you want to be, whatever you want to be, you can be. And that was one big thing for me, that I, became a nurse and have two boys and a wonderful husband. And we've been married for, oh my God, long time.
Nima, let's take you to the second week of March, when you felt uneasy on your stomach, right?
Right.
So let's talk about that.
March 12, what happened was March 9th, I called in sick because I was sick. But I didn't know what was it, because I had some stomach issues. I wasn't feeling, I was feeling tired. But then I was like, it could be anything, stress, raising kids and all kinds of nursing job and everything. So I went to work, and during the day, around 12 or 1 o'clock, around that time, I felt this tiredness. I was feeling exhaustion. And then I had this, scratchy throat for a while, but I already, I used to have this scratchy throat any time of, the year. Right. So I didn't pay attention to the scratchy throat, but I knew there's something bothering me. But then I was, at the same time, I was like, maybe I'm too much into this news, the coronavirus news here and there. Maybe I'm reading too much. So I was, I wasn't listening to my own instinct either. But then I went to grab it. Somehow I saw one of the thermometer in my room, and then I just checked my temperature because I was feeling a little hot. And, it could be, I'm feeling hot right now because I'm a bit nervous, and that kind of feeling, So I was like, I checked my temperature and I had 99.4 or something. And that scared me. Boom, right there. I knew there's something wrong, because I did not have fever for a long time. Last time I had fever was maybe I was your age, her age, maybe, and I was pregnant with my little one. So I was like, it's been a long time. And I eat very healthy. I'm a nurse, so and my kids know, so we don't buy sodas. I just don't have unhealthy stuff at my home. So I asked my charge nurse to give me my bag, give me a mask, and I went to employee health. And there I go. I was expecting to be tested for coronavirus, right? And they didn't. I felt like they didn't even know about it. Right. That's how I felt. They didn't have anything on place to check for coronavirus.
Second week of March, right?
Yeah, that was March 12th. So I came home, got tired. It was already 5 something. So I had, maybe light dinner, and then I went to sleep. Friday morning, I was supposed to be going to work, but I knew I won't be able to go to work because I knew the symptoms. So I called the doctor again, and I said, listen, I know you want me to go back to work, but I cannot because I have fever. I have now 100 point, whatever that number was, 100.1 or 100.2, something like that. It was a lot worse than 99.8, But still, the minute I found 99.8 on my ear, I knew it has to be coronavirus. But then again, I had to listen to the doctors and other professionals around. So, but I, took my precaution, and he was like, oh, okay, it's Friday. You have fever, stay home. You have, Saturday and Sunday, and then Monday you can go back to work.
Okay.
Then I stayed home, and I actually had a pretty good day. Relaxed, watched some movies and stuff, did my regular thing. But Saturday morning, that was Friday, I spent the day, and then Saturday morning, my husband woke up and he had fever, cough, everything, all the symptoms.
Right.
And then I started to give him the Motrin and stuff that I started to take. And then, we just took care of the, fever and chills and everything. Lots of fluids, lots of, and then I started making, maybe that day we didn't even make soup or anything. We just went along with the antipyretic, that's the, fever medications and stuff. And Sunday morning, it wasn't gone, and I was exhausted. I had fever, and he is getting worse now, and he's coughing really badly. And we were just in the same room, sharing bed and everything. So Sunday was okay. Monday he was okay. Tuesday, boom, he crashes again. From Tuesday now, he can't get out of bed. He can't lift up his head. He can't even open his eyes.
And he still had fever.
And he has fever. He's coughing. And that kind of scared me. But I was on the other end, I was talking with nurses, lots and lots of nurses, and they didn't know what's going on. And they even told me some incidents where people were scared to touch anyone coming from COVID because they were not ready. They didn't know what to do. In that case, I know my husband for a long time. So I knew that if he doesn't have someone close by holding his hands and telling him that you can, he will give up. And I have 2 kids. So I was like, I got to do whatever I got to do. I told my husband, okay, we're not going to the hospital. We're going to stay here and we're going to fight this. So I went to my kitchen, got all my stuff, anti-inflammatory stuff. And thank God I had ginger. These are like, Nepali home. We will have ginger. We will have garlic. We will have cinnamon. We will have, what else? Lemons. We had everything in stock. And besar, turmeric. That's turmeric. I went outside and I thought, I'll buy a turmeric, but that was like too expensive, $24 or something. Like maybe if he doesn't swallow, I can't put it in the food. So, I used our general regular turmeric. I dumped everything into soup. So I took my older son, he's 16, and we went to shopping. I went to Costco, bought all the, like protein shakes and the, Tylenol and zinc and, all this multivitamins and vitamin B complex and zinc and vitamin D and everything I could, I was able to, I wasn't even thinking. I just grabbed everything, put in my, and then I had a fight as well in Costco because Costco had a policy, 1 gallon of milk per person, one paper, bundle of paper towel, and 1 pack of rice. And I had to go there, and I said, I'm a nurse. My husband is sick. I'm pretty sure we have coronavirus. I had to tell them, I'm telling you as a nurse that you do not want me to come back here again just to grab a gallon of milk. And at the same time, I wanted to convince them. I said, check my previous records. How many gallons of milk do we buy normally? I'm not just here as a panic person, and I'm just not trying to grab everything, but I have a solid reason why I should be staying home. And then they helped. They were pretty good, and they brought in, a senior a manager, Costco manager, and she helped me ring all those extra ones on the side, and then I was able to get 2 gallons of milk and 2 paper towels and stuff like that. So, and then I went to Patel Brothers, the Indian store, and then I went crazy. I just grabbed everything I saw, like anything, home remedies, like natural, herbs. I grabbed all the herbs. I said, 200, spending 200, spend $200 will save my life here, maybe my family, and maybe I won't be able to get out of the house. So I grabbed everything, I put it here, and then, when I got here, then I Googled it, and I was like, okay, maybe I can use this. All right, I can use this, some of them, because I had to use anything that's available there.
Just a quick question. By that time, you didn't know that you were pretty sure that you guys have coronavirus, but medically you were not tested. So can you walk us through that story? Yeah.
There we go. That's a good question. Yeah, Sunday was what on the 17th. That's the 17th. When my first husband was not doing well, I had to find out a way where we can go for a treatment or anything. Right. And I called, and then I was constantly checking the news that time, because I wanted to find out what's out there and what are we doing, what's the policies. And I heard Donald Trump go online and say, anyone can go and test. And I was like, perfect, sounds good. So what I did was I went around, and they said, okay, CDMDs can, urgent case can test for coronavirus. So I called all the CDMDs. I wanted to make sure that I don't go to a place where it's overcrowded. People were already in a panic mode, and everybody wanted to test for even little scratch of throat or little, I don't know what else, all the symptoms. So I tried to go away from the, subway, CDMDs that's close to subway station, because I could drive, and I could drive my husband. If he, God forbid, if he doesn't have coronavirus, then I would not want him to get coronavirus. Well, I didn't want him and me go to a CDMD to pick up coronavirus, because I knew CDMD would be overwhelmed with coronavirus patients' symptoms. So I tried to go, a little far away. I drove him there. I put him in a mask. We put him in gloves. And then it comes to the doctor, and the doctor was like, we may not test for coronavirus. And I said, you know what? I'm a nurse. You will test for coronavirus, because I know for sure 99% my husband has coronavirus. If you don't, then I will just leave my profession. Okay. I will quit my profession. But and I said, he's coughing, the temperature, everything. They did the test, and he had all the symptoms except for shortness of breath. But he was just struggling, coughing and everything. And then they did 2 tests, negative. I knew for sure. By that time, she said, okay, we'll test for coronavirus. And I said, it's 99%.
Sorry to interrupt you. You mean the 2 tests that were negative, were they flu shots? Like, were they tests for flu?
Yeah, they were for flu and strep throat. They did 2 tests.
And so finally they agreed to test.
They agreed, yeah. They agreed, and they tested, and then I left.
Yeah, and the doctor took the sample, and then you left.
Then they told me, wait for 5 to 7 days.
Okay.
But waiting for 5 to 7 days was not easy.
Right.
I, put my husband and myself in our bedroom, and I told my kids not to go in here. My 16-year-old would come to us and talk, and like this. He would cover his face, and he would ask, where is so-and-so, or where can I find this and that, when he needs to eat something or drink something. He would come, and thank God we did our best. But I knew 6 foot distance is not going to happen in New York City apartment. I live in 2-bedroom apartment. So for me, and also what I knew is, by the time you show symptom, you already gave it to many people.
True.
The virus, because you don't even have the symptoms, and you don't know you have the symptoms, right? So you already gave it to family members. So what's the point for me now to tell my husband to leave in the room and drop the food from outside and panic mode? I can't do that. We have to be family. Now let's fight. If we got the virus, we all got the virus.
Okay.
That's how that's where I started to think like that. Right. I had to hold his hands. Right. I had to tell him to breathe. I had to tell him to eat.
How many days after the test did you actually receive the information from the doctor that he has coronavirus, that your husband has coronavirus?
So I gave them full 7 days. And on the 7th day, I called, and I was told, unfortunately, you have to tell you it's positive. Okay, so now what's next? Right. What are we going to do next? And she was like, you will stay home as much as possible, but if you have to go for your food and if you have to go for your medicine, that's the only time you're going to leave.
Okay.
And I had my food, I had my medicine, so I really didn't have to leave.
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't really leave after that. We
Mm-hmm.
stayed home because we had to recover. We had to feel better.
Right.
And so we stayed home for a while.
Right.
And then, slowly the temperature disappeared from my husband and then me and then the kids. So, yeah.
So by what time did you realize that your two sons were also, maybe infected with coronavirus?
Yeah. You know what? That's exactly the day they released that news in CBS, I guess, maybe.
Okay.
That's the day they said coronavirus can affect kids. That's the day I got the thermometer out of my bedroom, washed it with my soap and water, and I went to check my kids' temperature, and they had fever. And that's the time I lost it. I went to the bathroom. That's the time I went to the bathroom, and I started to pray and cry and did everything.
Right. And Nima, one more quick question. By that time, you knew that your husband had coronavirus, but you and your sons were not tested. So I just want to understand how
yeah, good question. And when I called and I said, okay, now we're here, we're all, mingling here around him. I had to take care of my husband. So should I go to test and as a nurse, I knew they know it's 100%, they know everybody has coronavirus now. So, but still, I wanted to find out if there is a way that we can go test. And they said, as a healthcare worker, it's not necessary for you to now. What do we do getting a test? We already kind of know you're positive. So the best thing would be, again, taking care of your symptoms and staying home and, fighting for your life. I guess, I mean, she didn't say like fighting for your life, but, that's the best way. And it made sense for me because I'm a healthcare worker. What do I get? Even if I go for testing, what do I get? Nothing.
Right.
I'm left by myself to defend, with this virus.
Right. So now you were in the mode of fighting for survival for your family. You were taking care of yourself, your husband, your two sons. Now, was there any moment when you really felt low? And if so, how did you cope up? How did you boost your confidence?
I guess that's where I appreciate and I have gratitude toward my profession.
Okay.
I know all this stuff. I've dealt with it. So I was like, you got to be the nurse for your family now. You got to be the doctor. I was telling myself again and again, you're the one you want. So what I did was I shoveled down the soup, even if there's no taste. I chew ginger just like that. Let it swallow. But one good thing what it did to me is losing the taste made me, able to chew ginger. Just like, who can chew ginger like that and swallow, right? I mean, it's so hard to chew ginger. I was like, okay, that's not a big deal. And then I have problem eating apples and oranges because they're sour or too sweet or something, and it takes time for me to eat one maybe piece at a time. But this time I was able to finish the whole apple and whole orange. I even gobbled down the oranges, and I was like, you know what, I'm the pilot now. So I got to be right. I have to be. This is something we have in nursing profession. You have to put the oxygen mask first for yourself, so you can take care of the others. And that's exactly what I did. I took care of myself. I took the, I'm normally, my whole family, we are not into like medicine. We don't like to take medicine. And we're not into, and my husband doesn't like to take medicine. That's the family. We're like that kind of family.
Right.
But I had to tell everyone. I said, listen to me, guys. This is the time we cannot say like, I don't want to take medicine or, I don't want to worry about side effects. This is the time to live. We have to live and we will deal with side effects down the line. But right now we have to make sure we deal with the temperature. We make sure we don't cough too much because it's going to deteriorate our health. We're going to get worse. And by the time, if we can't control take care of our symptoms, then we have to go to the hospital. And that means, what happens in the hospital. They will isolate you and they will, it's not like nothing wrong with hospitals. What they're doing is the right way because they need to protect other patients and they need to protect themselves. That's the right way. But do you have that confidence? Do you have that willpower? If someone leaves you in one room and then you will be able to take care of yourself. That's something you need to, if you're fragile, you need like, your family around, it's going to be hard for you. and it's going to be hard for the nurses to look at you suffering.
Yeah.
It's hard for all of us.
Mhm.
So that's how I told, and my kids were not swallowing this or that, and I would say, I didn't ask you for taste or anything. I'm not asking for your opinion. I'm doing this so we can throw this bomb for the coronavirus. So we will explode that. We will snitch it. We will try to chop that, and we will flush it down the toilet. That's what my, one thing I would tell them about it. And my kids would be like, "Oh, there's nothing. I don't want to eat." I said, I didn't ask you to whether you want to eat or not. You have to shovel this down, and we're shoveling this down together for the coronavirus. I had to encourage them. It's not easy when you're sick.
True.
You can't be motivated. So I did that. And the same way, my husband is a very good listener. And I guess it's also, it actually gives us that power, because we as a human being, we want to live. Who wants to die? Nobody. You know what I mean? And that willpower, it actually comes within you when you need it. And and he started to drink, he started to eat. He would just continually do whatever I tell him. Thank God. Some stubborn people don't do that. Even patience, it's hard for us. Yes. And
thank you so much.
In a way, it worked. Yes.
Yeah, thank you so much for giving us such a clear picture of how you and your family really work together as a team.
Right.
To like fight against the coronavirus.
And Nima, one more thing, audience might be confused about it. When you talk about medicine, because there is no specific medicine for coronavirus. When you are talking about medicine, what are you talking about?
Absolutely. I'm glad you asked. When I went to the doctor said, "What are you taking?" And I said, "I bought my Advil." And she was like, "Okay, you know what? You can increase the Advil to 600 milligrams and 3 times a day." That's the only thing I got from the doctor. And I came home. I had, as a nurse, I'm thankful, and I'm helping right now a lot of people. I'm actually helping, checking their medications, and I'm with the go get this and that and stuff, because I know what's going on within the patients, within my family, within my husband, what's happening with my husband. So my husband was scared to take Motrin because the Motrin was in the news and everybody shouldn't take the Motrin. But I said, listen, some people Motrin works, some people Tylenol. Everybody is different. Even within two of my kids, my older son always needed Motrin. Tylenol didn't bring his temperature down. Another, my younger one, Tylenol is fine. Anything is fine for him. And then he doesn't like to eat. So I would rather not give Motrin to my little one, because he's not a big eater. My older one, I don't care, because he eats well. So Motrin, the side effect is like you can have a GI system problem. You may end up, if you take it and if you don't eat, you may have a stomach ache and you may actually bleed within your stomach. So I had to tell my husband and my son, listen to me, guys. I'm the nurse. I'm telling you, you need to shovel this food, rice, roti, whatever it is there. And there's something solid you got to eat. And right there, you got to, you got to take the medication with it. So another thing is, I went from Motrin 3 times a day. I put it 3 times a day. That's how we take it at home in the hospital. We take 6 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock, and then 10 o'clock. So I apply the same practice here in my house. And I said, okay, we're gonna take the Motrin at 6 o'clock, because I have to work together. We all have to work together. Otherwise, it's gonna put exhaustion on me, and I won't be able to take care of them. So we all went I was running my own little clinic here. I had to make them first couple days I had difficulty. So I was like jumping around, giving medications in the rooms, and checking temperature. It is exhausting when you do like multiple times a day, and you're the cook, you're the dishwasher, you have to do everything. So medication wise, I took Tylenol, Motrin and Advil. It's the same thing, Advil. And then I just went and grabbed all the cough medication.
Right. Nima, now we know that your family is healthy. Like, is there a way to know that your family is now coronavirus negative? Like, how do we figure it out?
When I told the doctor, and I called my employee health and said, if you're temperature free for 3 days, you can go to work. Meaning now I can go anywhere. You guys don't need to be scared of me. We're all well. Our taste is all back. We're eating, we're enjoying food and everything. But we still feel that toward the evening, we still don't have that energy. I'm talking to, I'm looking at their faces and stuff. I could tell we're still still we have time to recover. We need time to recover, because it doesn't go disappear like that, and 3 days later you come out of it and you're fine. No, that's not the thing. You appreciate your taste, you appreciate the food that you have around, and you appreciate that you don't have fever, and you appreciate you don't have cough. That's a good thing. But for virus wise, Lord knows, we need to do some testing and stuff, but there's nothing out there right now, looks like. So we are supposed to be virus free right now. But we don't feel that way.
Okay, now we've come to the end of the podcast. Is there any message you want to give out to all of our audience who might be in a panic mode right now and who might need a moral boost?
Yeah, thank you. The best thing is right now, even if you go to the hospital, the best thing, one thing that we would be doing is controlling the symptoms. So if you have little fever, if you have little cough or something, don't panic. If you have the ability to stand up more than 1 hour in front of an emergency room, that means you have the ability to fight this. I'm telling you. So you need to take care of yourself. You need to drink fluids. You need to drink your soup. You need to just get lots and lots of fluids, your medications to control the symptoms. You need to talk to your doctor. Obviously, you need to work with your doctor, but you don't give up and you just fight it. And don't forget, we have 80% recovery. People forget. We focus on only the sickness and death. But what about the 80%? We all made it. 80% is a large number. So we all can do it, I believe. If you don't have any health conditions, underlying health conditions, we can fight this, and don't be afraid. But best way is staying home and not to get this, because it's not easy. It is not easy. When you get through it, I went through this, this like as if, I don't even remember. I felt like I went into a tornado and I just came out of it, safe and not injured. But I did go through it was hard, and it's gonna be hard. So best way is not to get the virus, stay home, and make sure you stay healthy, mentally healthy. You don't become anxious. Don't watch the news too much. You need the news once a day. Of course, you need to know what's happening around you in the morning. Once in the morning, and then the rest of the day, make out the family. It's a good time. Make out, like a music, comedy, exercise. And there are so many things to do online now. Be online, but good toward the something that boosts your immunity. Happiness, dance, sing. These are the things that you need to be doing, instead of like scare. And if you're anxious and if you're scared, your immune system will give up too, and then you will be perfectly a good host for the coronavirus. So don't be the good host for a coronavirus.
Yeah, thank you so much, Nima, for sharing your story, and we wish you and your family a good health ahead.
Thank you so much.
On that very positive note of the hope of recovery after coronavirus, we would like to say a very special thanks to all of you for watching our podcast and listening to us. And yes, a very, very humble thanks to Nima and her family.
Yeah, and stay home, because this is the only way you can help everyone.